Hi everyone, we are recording a podcast today. This is Samantha and we're behind the scenes just getting ready to record and talk about intuition kicks, which she is wearing today.
Yes, here
so
are my
fun.
sneakers.
What are these shoes?
These are the 1111 sneaker. They're awesome. You can see the 11 here. We have a cool thunderbolt here and then the 11 on the back. And then there's quotes inside. This one says, "Sometimes you win." And the other one says, "Sometimes you learn." Sorry.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, so excited about it.
And you're wearing a variation.
Yes, I'm wearing the black version here. So same thing. We have these really cool laces. I wanted to be able to self-express and be funky. So these are more of the edgier version of the neutral for whoever
love it
wants to be more edgy and fun.
I feel like you could do a whole series of what are you wearing kind of but on the street and then talk about these shoes.
Yeah, so I'm wearing kind of a business casual look today with the sneakers, but it's just you can wear anything with them. It's really fun.
Totally. She's a fellow fashionista, so anyone here as well, you're listening to the right episode. Welcome back to the Lily Grace Lifestyle Podcast. And we have Samantha on today to talk about her business that she just launched, Intuition Kicks. Thank you so much for coming on today.
So excited to be here.
I know. Look at these beautiful boxes and she's wearing her shoes and we have some over here too. But I met you because we're both in the industry, and we've known each other. Actually, I think I met you when I was literally 19. At my first internship. It was 7 years ago, which is crazy. And we both have gone through so much, and it's been such a journey. But you decided about a year ago to start a passion project that turned into a business, which is Intuition Kicks. So can you give us a little background on why?
Where to start? So I have had my rep group for about 8 years now, and that's been a really great journey thus far, but I really just love sneakers. They're something that I love to wear and express myself through, and I went through a lot of crazy things the last few years. I've all my life struggled with anxiety and depression, and I feel like I've been alone in that, and it's a really hard journey. And so I wanted to start a brand that was focused on helping other women with their mental health journey. So Intuition Kicks was actually founded or started in my spin class, which was where I went to just release all my emotions when I was going through. I got divorced and I lost 100 pounds, and I was just kind of didn't know where my life was going to take me, and this idea came up in spin class, and I was like, you know what, there's no brand of sneakers doing a mental health aspect, so this is where Intuition Kicks was born. And I always say it's about following your intuition. I finally left a marriage that it was comfortable, it was safe, but it wasn't my person, and I could have stayed and just been content, but I followed my intuition and I left, and so many great things have happened so far. So I'm really
and here you are today. And that takes courage to leave a situation, whether it be a relationship or a business or anything in life that you're comfortable and content with. But was there a moment in time or a series of moments that really told you in your gut to be okay, I need to
I think there was definitely a series of moments. I had a lot of different things happen. I think a lot of red flags that I was at the time I just was these are just things that are happening, but then looking back I'm this is probably were signs. The night I got engaged, my diamond fell out of my ring.
Oh my gosh.
Which was crazy. And I went to a very well-known, my parents' family jeweler in Boston. The guy was this has never happened in for 50 years of business, and I was okay. And then there were a series of just different things that happened. The night of my engagement party, there was a altercation and just some things that happened, and I feel I was what am I doing? I don't know. I just was in love, and I was this person loves me so much, but I feel I didn't love myself enough at the time to realize that there were better things out there for me. And I started my spiritual journey probably like 7 or like probably like 8 or 10 years ago, doing like Reiki. I'm actually Reiki certified. I have my breathwork certification, but I just like started working with spiritual people and just going through traumas and things of my past. And I think I started growing a lot, and I outgrew our relationship because I wanted to be a better person, and he just was like, I just want to be content, and I'm okay with the way things are with my life, and I wanted something more. So I think that was like one of the biggest things. It was like, you know, we were on a train together, I always say, and it was like we kept moving, and like when you're in a relationship, you know, sometimes you have to stop, and someone, you know, because someone has to go through something and you're there, but like we're always on the train together. And I feel like he didn't want to like keep going. It was just like he was like good with like staying in one place.
That's so interesting.
That makes sense.
Oh, it 100% makes sense.
Yeah, so yeah, it was the best thing I ever did. It was the scariest thing I ever did. I mean, so one of my sneaker quotes is be comfortable being uncomfortable, and that's like my saying, because it's just, I think the best things in life come when you're uncomfortable and you're not in your comfort zone and you're pushed to like figure it out.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
A very amazing journey that brought you here today, and again, a lot of bravery and a lot of intuition and listening to yourself. And you mentioned, thank you for being so vulnerable, about not loving yourself in that moment even though you're in love. And I've also gone through that multiple times until I started my spirituality and healing journey about 2 or 3 years ago at this point, and I think that's when we really connected too. And it's so interesting because you see the world differently and you start to realize your worth. What was that journey like for you, going through not loving yourself to slowly kind of seeing the light and finding yourself again?
It was interesting. I feel like I still, you know, everyone goes through things where like still don't love themselves. But, you know, I feel like I started just building up my confidence and like meeting new people and working through things and having friends who like come to me for their problems and like look up to me for what I've done. And I think that kind of gave me the more confidence. And yeah, I feel like I didn't appreciate myself enough, and I like was like, I need to just be blossoming and growing. And like this collection is actually called Blossom. And like this picture here, this is actually my tattoo that's on my
so beautiful.
And this is something I got like in December of 2022 when I was like kind of figuring out what I wanted to do. Like I was working on my marriage, but you know, we went through a lot of therapy, and I was like, if I gave myself a timeline, and I was like, if nothing changes, like I'm gonna have to like move on. And this tattoo is kind of like, it's a woman's face and she's like blossoming and like growing, and I feel like that was me and is always me. We're always changing and growing and figuring out where to go next. So that was just, one of the biggest things for me.
Totally. Yeah, I love that you gave yourself a timeline too, because it's so easy to get caught up and ruminate and just be stuck. But it's so important to pull yourself out of that in any way, shape, or form, but also give yourself the grace and be gentle with yourself, because we're all human and figuring it all out. But these shoes are so beautiful. Can we look at these right here?
So these are the 11s. And there's an 11 here and 11 on the side. So 11 is actually all about following your intuition and manifestation. And I'm a huge believer in manifestation. When I started my spiritual journey, I'm like, I make vision boards every year. I write down like, I'm going to do this and it's going to happen type of thing. And actually each sneaker comes with, I had custom tarot cards made by a local artist. So they're beautiful. Cool. They're like black with metallic gold. And then on the back, I wrote a step-by-step manifestation ritual that each woman can do when they get their sneakers. And it's kind of just like to step into your power. Every time you wear these shoes, you're manifesting what you want. You're stepping into your power, and you're like being reminded that everything will be okay. And there's actually even quotes in the insole. This one says, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. One of them's be comfortable being uncomfortable. And then we have just a really fun pair that's good times and good vibes, because that's like my thing. Like, it's always good time and a good vibe.
Yes, and I love that these shoes are such good quality too. These are not just any sneakers.
Yes, these are made in Italy. I manufacture there. We used like all the finest leathers. I did a really comfortable insole. Lily Grace tried them on and she was like, "Oh my god, these are so comfortable." So
I was shocked. I was like,
yeah.
"Oh my gosh," because usually I try on a sneaker with a flat sole and you're like, "Oh, okay, I'm missing something here," but there's cushion.
Yeah, so this brand is really, I think, me in a brand. I really put every like single thing I could into it to make it very unique and different. And it's not just a sneaker. It's about empowering other women to be confident, to express themselves. And I want to connect other women with their stories, their intuition stories. So I think everyone has a moment or many moments where they finally follow their gut. And this is what the sneaker is all about, is following your gut and, you know, telling other women their stories to empower them to maybe leave a marriage or leave that job that they're not happy with or, you know, to get out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And if people are listening and they're in a situation that they're like, okay, I'm comfortable, but I keep having these gut check moments that keep popping up, what would be your advice for them? Because I think we know intuitively when something's not right, but then acting upon it's so hard.
It's really hard. I think you have to give yourself grace. Like you said, there are days when you're gonna not know what to do. You're gonna not want to leave your bed. You're not gonna want to socialize. And then there's times when you're like, I'm gonna like do something fun and awesome. But I feel like it's giving yourself grace. It's planning, like giving yourself a timeline. If you're not ready yet, you know, like be like, okay, like in 3 weeks or whatever, a year, like if I'm still in this position, like it's my time, like that, and I'm still feeling all these different emotions, like it's time to take that step and moving forward. And just having a good support team, whether that's your friends, your family, your spiritual coaches, like, or your therapist. I mean, I just had people that I like bounced all of my thoughts on, and I had a really actually interesting, I started working with, I went to Montana like in October of 2022, and I was like feeling like I wasn't sure what I was going to do with my life and feeling stuck and all these things. And I connected, we did this like activity where it was actually a writing retreat. It was really cool. I went, it was like 7 other women. We stayed at this beautiful ranch and had like all like, the space was just so amazing. And we did writing all day. Like it was really cool. And then one day we went and saw horses. And I was like always scared of horses. I was like, they're so big and like all this stuff. And they're actually one of the most intuitive animals.
Really?
And they are all about like your intuition and feeling the energies. So we went and like stood in a herd of horses. And like certain horses would come up to you, and it was just like, it was really cool. And in that moment I was like, I want to work with a horse. Like I just don't, that's like what I want to do. So when I got back from the trip, I was at my Reiki healer that I've been working with forever, and she was like, I told her about my experience with the horses, and she was like, I actually have a woman who does equestrian healing.
Wow.
So I ended up going to her, and it was crazy. The first time we met, I just kind of sat with the horse. She told me all about like the energies, and she kind of taps in and connects with the horse and sees different visions and spiritual stuff. So I just was like petting the horse, and I just was crying. It was like crazy. Like I just couldn't stop crying. And she tapped into the horse, and I'll never forget it, because this was like the moment that I realized like it was time to leave like the relationship. She was like, I see you going down a river on like a wooden thing, and she's like, I just see you in like an ice box, and you just keep trying to get out, but like you just keep like hitting the ice trying to get out, but it just keeps freezing over. And I was like, that is a metaphor for my life right now. Like I just felt like I was stuck. I like couldn't, I was like, how do I leave? What do I do? And she was like, you're just floating down this river and you like don't know where to go. And I was like, I have never connected more with something like that. And she was like, you just keep going. And then eventually like I was like, okay, I think it's time to leave. And I like planned out how I was gonna do it. I ended up like we had a couples therapist, and I just was like, okay, like I told my family I was doing it, and yeah, so we were on a therapy call together, and I had her kind of help me navigate how to leave and like explain how I felt. And it was really hard, and I feel like he felt blindsided, but I don't felt like it wasn't blindsided, because I feel like the whole time I was like working on it. I was like, if this doesn't work, like this is what's gonna happen.
Right.
But yeah, and I ended up, and it was so scary. I was like, am I making the right choice? Like, I feel like multiple times I broke off our engagement. I did a few things like, and I just kept going back because I don't think I was strong enough.
Right.
And then I feel like I finally had the support, so I did it, and yeah, it was scary. I mean, going from being married to someone and being with someone for like 7 years.
That's a long time.
And to go and be alone again was really, really hard. There were days I didn't get out of bed. There were days when I just cried, and there were days when I had good days, but it was it was just all over the place. And I'm so fortunate I have my dog Lucy, who's like my sheepadoodle. She's my baby, and she's like, I call her my second soul. And like, literally. I had her, and thank God I did, because like, I don't know if I could have done it without like having her there and like my support. But I think there's a moment in time where you'll have signs.
Yeah.
Like having that vision that she had was like, okay, like this is how I feel, and I need to like move forward with my life. And when I did that, like things just started changing for me in general. Like, I lost a lot of weight. I think I was like the heaviest I'd ever been in my marriage, and I was working out every day. I couldn't figure out what was wrong. Like, I went to the doctors a million times, and I was like, all my levels were fine. Everything was good. Like, I was eating well. I was trying to lose weight, and I think it was just like my fight or flight response. Sure. Like, I was just so anxious all the time. And then like when that finally like let go, it was like, okay. And like, I just like, my weight like came off.
Wow. I remember that.
Yeah, it was wild. So
it's
like
crazy how
your body knows.
Yeah, your body keeps the score, is what they say in yoga.
There you go.
And breath work and all of that. But that story gave me chills about the icebox and the river. I feel like we all can relate to that in some way, shape, or form. But having that moment and then acting upon that afterwards is amazing. And like you said, it manifests in your body in such interesting ways. And you can try, try to get out of the ice cube. But until you let go of old energy, you really can't move on.
Yeah, you can't make room for new things until I feel like people are like, well, I want to change, but they're not willing to make changes.
Correct.
And that's where like the biggest thing is, like, you have to make changes for change to happen.
Yes.
And move, old energy. Like, I was like, if I don't let go of this, like, how I'm not gonna be able to move forward. So
yeah, it's so true. And it's also balancing the internal work with the external work, because I feel like you can change a lot of things on the outside, but until you change your mindset and what you hold on to within too, your experience might be very similar, and you might be replaying the same problems or situations over and over again.
Well, yeah, I was like, I like had broken off my engagement at one point and all this stuff. I haven't told a lot of people this, so we're all just coming out and telling it now. But yeah, and I feel like I was like, okay, I'm gonna go, like, he's gonna change, I'm gonna go back and things are gonna get better, but like, he didn't want to make the changes.
Right.
So it's like, again, if you keep, like, you have to figure out, like, if you're gonna make those changes, then like things need to go a different direction.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this podcast episode. Without you, I would not be where I am today. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and follow the podcast. And if you haven't already checked out my vlog formatted videos, please do. There I show exclusive behind the scenes on my lifestyle, my routines, my travels, friends, business, relationships, etc. And it's the more laid back, low-key version of the life. Stay tuned for more, and thank you so much again. And let's get back into this amazing episode. Okay, so you went through all of that, and you're in a really decent place now.
Yeah, I'm really
happy. And you are happy in a relationship.
Yes. Dating was interesting after marriage. I was like, I gave myself time. Like, I went off social media for a few months. I kind of just like focus on myself and not having like all these other, when you're on social media, I feel like it's like everyone think everyone's life is so amazing because they're just posting all their happy moments. And I was like, I can't be on here and doing that right now. So I like went off social media, I focused on myself, and then I started dating, and I was on the apps and everything, and that was really interesting. I feel like I went through a lot of interesting moments where like I thought someone was, you know, a great person, and then like certain things happened,
Right.
and yeah, and then I was like, I'm just gonna stop dating.
Yeah.
Like, I need to just focus on myself more again, and I like went off all the apps, and then I met my current boyfriend while I was golfing. So last year I was like, I need an activity, because that was like right after my divorce, and so I was like, I'm gonna take up golfing. So I started taking lessons, and like that was something that I did like just to relieve stress and get my mind off of things.
Yeah.
And I was out with a friend. We went golfing, and we met him at the bar at the golf course, and I was not interested at all. He was like, he was critiquing. I critiqued his Bumble profile. It was hysterical. And he like asked me for my number, and I was like, yeah, like you can follow me on Instagram. And I was like kind of seeing someone at the time that I was like thought was gonna be like promising, but it wasn't. So I was like, I'm not interested. And then like he kept liking my posts and all this stuff. And then one day I was just like, he posted something. Oh, it was on Cinco de Mayo, and he was like, will you be my Dos Equis and Lime, like the Corona and Lime song? And I just responded, maybe. And then he literally started messaging me and asked me to go out that next night. It was like a Monday night. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I wasn't feeling good at the time. So I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'll let you know. And then I ended up going, and we literally have been like inseparable since.
Yes.
And he's amazing. He's like everything I manifested. I literally wrote down a specific list of things and qualities that I was looking for in a guy. And I put it under my bed, under my mattress, which is like what for the manifestation ritual, that's part of it, is like putting whatever it might be that you're manifesting, like under your mattress, close to your heart, like where you sleep, where your head is. And he was so many things on that list, and he's like so emotionally available and loving, and yeah, I couldn't be happier. So yeah, shout out to James.
All good things. We love a good ending to a story, but it's not the end. It's just the next step. It's been amazing.
Yeah, it's been really great, and we just moved in together, which is really exciting, and I'm just excited for the future and what it has to hold. And the sneaker company I'm really, really excited about. We're pretty much launching in June, so look out for all the things that are going to be happening. But I really just want other women to know that you're strong, you're beautiful, like you can do anything, and it's just like you have to like have confidence and strength. And it's all within. It's just like you have to pull it out sometimes.
Yes. No, it's so true.
Yeah.
And what is your vision? You know, you're launching in June. The sneakers are here. They're coming. What's your vision?
I mean, I hope to be doing this full time at some point, and I hope to like start a movement. I want to start like your intuition era, and I want to have different pop-ups all over like major cities in the US where like it's like a bodega where you have to like find where the sneaker store is. And it's gonna be like not just shopping, but have like women come in and share their intuition stories, and do like a whole event with like DJs and motivational speakers, and just like a whole experience, and just network with other women and share stories about like following your intuition. So it's really about starting a movement, and I'm so excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, lots of exciting things. And you're wearing your own shoes, which are fabulous. I love that the laces are so different too. We'll have to share some pictures and things so people can really see them up close. But the boxes are beautiful. It's all very, very exciting.
Yeah.
And usually I start with this, but we're going to ask you now, what defines your lifestyle at this point in your life?
I mean, I would say right now I'm focusing on myself still, and like my confidence, and getting, you know, it's scary to share your story, and that's like, so my sneakers, I call it sneakers with a story, because there's the story of me behind it, but also I want it to be a story for other women to share. So focusing on me and like my love life and my family and friends that have been there. I think you like truly find out who your people are when you go through something like divorce. It's kind of like a death in a way.
It is. It's great.
I lost a lot of friends because we came from the same hometown.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we have a lot of mutual friends. So there was like a lot of people that I feel like was really close with me, and then like they just weren't anymore, and that's okay. I feel like everyone. So just like focusing on family and friends on this brand and myself, I think is like the most important thing right now.
For sure. And I love how, like I said at the beginning, how different the shoes are. They're not your normal kick. And what got you into sneakers? Were you always into sneakers, even in your childhood?
No.
Oh.
I wasn't. I don't know. I just like started like seeing, I feel like I started with like the Nike Jordans. I love my Nike Jordans. They're like, so I started like collecting those and wearing them with like even just like really cute dressy outfits. And I was like, this is so fun. And I actually went to school for fashion.
Which I love.
And business. Yeah. So I went to Sacred Heart University and I did a fashion concentration, fashion marketing. And I wanted to be a buyer. Like that was like my plan. And I did an internship at Nordstrom in college, and then I worked there, and then I was a store manager at Baubles and Lace.
Yes, I love.
Yeah, and so then I ended up, my dad's in the construction industry, and he was like, why don't you come work for me? So I did. I started selling a product for him that he exclusively installed, and then I was going into firms and they're like, well, you're a contractor, but really I was a rep.
Yeah.
So I started and I was like, you know what? I've always just had that entrepreneurial spirit, especially from like watching my dad build a business and all of that. So I just was like, okay, let's start a rep group.
Yeah.
And I started Ability Stream and Design Group, and I started repping his product under my company, and it just grew from there. And then, and now I'm just like, I feel like I started loving, I've always loved fashion. I've always worn, like, just always people are like, where'd you get that outfit?
Right.
Or stuff like that. So I feel like I found my passion again in expressing myself through my clothes. And when I got this idea, I just basically, everyone's like, how did you like start this? And I basically Googled how to start a sneaker brand.
Yes.
You know, you can do anything you want.
Yeah.
You just have to like put your mind to it. And I came up with this a year ago, and like we're here launching in pretty much a year. So
no, crazy.
It's just like I think what fuels you is like your passions. And
and I think it's interesting, your story overall, even of your career, you know, being in fashion and then being a rep, it just like marries all of that. And you took this manifestation, this idea, and turned it into a product within a year, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And this product is so fun, and being a fellow fashion girl and a lot of the listeners being that as well, I feel like this shoe is just right because you can dress it down, you can dress it up. Like, where do you imagine people wearing these shoes?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they'll wear them on their day-to-day when they're just, like, going, you know, out with their friends for brunch or shopping, or even, like, some of the sneakers I feel like can be dressier where you, like, can wear them out to dinner. I feel like people wear sneakers everywhere now.
It's, like, so European.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I go out now and I'm like, I examine who's wearing what for shoes. And I feel like every bar I go to or everywhere I go, everyone's wearing sneakers. And so I feel like it's a big, it's acceptable now. It's a newer trend.
Yeah.
And we're coming out with more styles where I'm a huge high top sneaker girl. So we're coming out with like a platform high top.
Wait, I want that one.
Yeah, which is going to be so awesome. We're waiting on the samples now. So like there's a lot more to come with the sneakers. And I even see this becoming like, I want to do like cargo jackets, and like I'm a huge leather jacket girl. So like doing like intuition, like leather jackets. Yeah, it's
you can't go wrong.
Yeah, the options are endless.
So fun.
Yeah, and I do want to, as the brand grows, work with a nonprofit that works with women and mental health and be able to give back. That's like one of my biggest things. So that will happen eventually. I just gotta get my feet off the ground with them. All
Literally.
The sneakers.
That's amazing. I feel like it's just such a fun shoe, a fun story, and a really great brand.
Thank you.
I appreciate you being so vulnerable and sharing
I hope
your
it
story.
helps. I hope it helps other women who are feeling like they are lost or don't know what to do.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah.
It's really empowering, and I think it's attracting really amazing energy, and your social media is so hype and happening, and you're modeling and doing all the fashion shows. Like, it's so fun to see you flourish in that way. So I'm proud of you. This is so great.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of amazing things are happening for people this year, even though the world's kind of crazy. It's just like people are finally having the courage, I feel like, to really step out into new territory.
Yeah, step into their power. I think that's just the biggest thing.
Yeah. So thank you so much for coming on today. How can people connect with you, and then how can people buy the shoes?
Yeah, so intuitionkicks.com is the website where we have our shoes, and then our Instagram is intuition_kicks. And my Instagram, personally, I would love for you to follow me and share your stories with me, is Samantha T_GIO, which is my last name, Giordano. So yeah, thank you for having me. It's been
Thanks
so
for coming
great.
on.
Yeah.
This was so fun, and I love this. And if you want to start a podcast, I will show you all the ropes.
Yes, Lily Grace is going to show me all the things, so I'll watch out for my podcast.
Amazing.
Coming soon.
We'll do a podcast swap. So fun. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.